yards for the touchdown. Unbelievable.
Welcome to Red Zone Recap, where we go over everything NFL that happened over the last week, from games, stats, and more. And my golly, let's just get right into it with Jaden and Zach, starting with game one for Thursday Night Football.
The Vikings went into Los Angeles and lost to the Chargers 37-10. Justin Herbert went back to his elite-looking form, and second-year running back Kiami Vidal went for 127 yards plus a touchdown.
Ladd McConkey got back on track. He had 88 yards and a touchdown, and rookie tight end Oronde Gadsden had 77 yards and a touchdown. There wasn't that much to say on the Vikings side, as Wentz only threw 144 yards, and Justin Jefferson was 74 of those, nearly half. The Chargers defense had 5 sacks plus a fumble in the game.
Yeah, and I mean, going back to Justin Herbert, he had 227 passing yards and 3 passing touchdowns for a 122.8 passer rating. Josh, what did we have on Sunday night?
Moving on to Sunday Night Football, let's start with primetime game of Packers beating the Steelers by a final score of 35-25.
Yeah, Jordan Love played great in that game. He had 360 yards and 3 touchdowns. Tucker Kraft as well on National Tight End Day counted for 2 of those touchdowns for 143 yards.
Yeah, Josh Jacobs was not much of an impact, pretty much a non-factor in this game. 16 total touches, but only about 45 yards. He had a touchdown that was included, but he had to split touches between his backup. Aaron Rodgers had 2 air touchdowns, 219 yards, tried to make a comeback late in the game. DK Metcalf looking like a premier receiver once again, 55 yards and a touchdown in this game.
Yeah, and very rare for this Steelers defense with TJ Watt. They had 0 interceptions, 0 sacks, 0 fumbles, and only 1 tackle for loss, while the Packers defense had 3 sacks and a fumble. Josh, what's the next game that we've got?
Let's move on to the Broncos facing the Cowboys in Denver. The Broncos walked out of this one with 5th straight victory, winning it 44-22. Let's go back to Jaden and Zach.
Yeah, Bo Nix, for just the 3rd time in his NFL career, had a 4-touchdown game. Troy Franklin had 2 of those touchdowns for 89 yards, and R.J. Harvey, the rookie, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, a breakout game for R.J. Harvey. I believe he had a 40-yard touchdown run, and fantasy managers are rejoicing now. He's finally looking like the player that they've wanted him to be. Dak Prescott was in MVP conversation early on in the season. Not a great game, though. 2 interceptions against this rowdy Broncos defense and less than 200 yards.
Yeah, and CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens each had 7 receptions and over 75 yards for each of them. Lamb and Pickens are going to be a lethal duo if they can both stay healthy in the league. And yeah, as we see on the screen, Bo Nix, 4 passing touchdowns. Dak Prescott with 0. And I mean, that's kind of the result of the game that you're going to get. If you don't throw for a touchdown, you're going to lose the game by 20.
Yeah. Let's get that next game, Josh.
Let's go to our next game for the Colts versus the Titans. It was a high-scoring one for the Colts, but it ended up finishing in a victory for Indianapolis, 38-14. Let's go to Jaden and Zach.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Jones just continues this masterful season. 272 yards, 3 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor had 2 on the ground and a receiving touchdown for 174 yards. He just continues to put up unbelievable numbers like what we saw from Saquon and Derrick Henry last year.
It's real video game stuff coming from the Colts here. They're one of the best offenses of this century through 9 games. So they're on pace for a really, really historic season. And that receiving corp is part of the reason why.
Absolutely.
You've got Michael Pittman and Josh Downs both having touchdowns, as well as Alec Pierce having multiple catches of 40-plus. This was an absolute feast for the Colts, as they should be doing inside of their own division. And for Tennessee, not much to say, but Gunnar Helm and Tyjae Spears had the 2 touchdowns to make the score 14.
Yeah, and the Titans have now dropped 3 in a row after beating the Cardinals back in Week 5, while the Colts pick up their 4th win in a row. Absolutely incredible stuff from a team that nobody really expected it from. Josh, what do we have next?
Next up, we have the Dolphins absolutely blowing out the Falcons, with Michael Penix Jr. being on the IR. Kirk Cousins was not able to adapt the Dolphins' defense. Miami came out swinging and didn't slow it down, but it ended up being 34-10. Let's go to Jaden and Zach.
I mean, Jaden, I don't know anyone who could have predicted this game. The Dolphins just putting up 30 in general. I don't know the last time they've done that.
No, it's been a while. The last high-scoring Dolphins game I can remember, I believe they had about 70 points.
Yeah.
So that's pretty impressive to think of. But yeah, Tua had 205 yards, 4 touchdowns. He threw for 1 in each of those quarters. Waddle and Achane each had 90 yards and a touchdown. But yeah, coming off of a loss 31-6 to my Cleveland Browns, the Dolphins looked really, really good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I don't know what it is with this Atlanta Falcons team. It's just a weird sequence of events where they end up beating the Bills beat the Dolphins, but then the Dolphins go beat the Falcons.
Yeah.
Weird things to see. Josh, what game's up next?
Our next game, we got the Bears losing to the Baltimore Ravens by a final score of 30-16. Jaden and Zach.
Yeah, I mean, not even having Lamar Jackson still, the Ravens are still able to come out there and get a win.
Snoop Huntley, 175 yards and a touchdown in the air. Looked very, very serviceable back there. Yeah, it was a great win for the Ravens there. And, yeah, they look like they're in a prime position for look like they're in a prime position for when Lamar Jackson returns.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've got two very big games against the Pittsburgh Steelers late in the season where they're going to hopefully try to go conquer that AFC North division.
Mm-hmm.
And Josh, what's the last game we've got today?
And the last exciting game of the week was New York Jets getting the first win of the season against the Bengals, winning it 39-38 thanks to a late fourth quarter comeback.
I mean, Justin Fields, he either plays out of his mind or he plays like he's a hurt Carson Wentz. And this week he played incredible. I mean, over 500 yards for that Jets offense and the late fourth quarter comeback. I mean, and the Jets getting their first win of the season.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn getting his first win as a head coach. It was really fun to watch
Yeah,
for me.
there was a lot of celebration. It called for a lot of celebration in that locker room. Breece Hall had his best game of the year as well, 150 yards and a couple of touchdowns. One of those came through the air. We'll definitely talk more about that in a little bit. But yeah, Justin Fields looked incredible. Bengals really beat themselves in this one, giving up 23 points in the fourth quarter. Justin Fields, yeah, coming out party. We'll see if the Jets can kind of keep their foot on the gas here and put some pressure on those top teams.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Josh, back to you.
Now it is time for your Red Zone recap team of the week for Week 8.
We'll start it off with our quarterback position, and our quarterback player for the team of the week is Jordan Love, who played on Sunday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers and had over 300 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. What a game from Love.
Incredible game from Jordan Love there. Our running back for team of the week is going to be Jonathan Taylor with his 4th 3-touchdown game of the year, looking like a clear-cut finalist for that Offensive Player of the Year award.
Yeah, especially with Puka Nacua being out. And our wide receiver for this week is Troy Franklin, who had 89 yards and 2 touchdowns for that Broncos offense, who ended up destroying the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep, and on National Tight End Day, we got Tucker Kraft coming in with 2 touchdowns and 145 yards in that same win over the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And last but not least, our defensive player of the week is Myles Garrett, who had 5 sacks, and I'm sure that Jaden is very happy with that.
Very, very happy.
Now on to Josh for this week's plays of the week.
Guys, it is time for the top 3 plays of the week. Starting at number 3, James Cook takes it to 64 yards to the house. Let's show the clip.
James Cook probably one of the easiest rushing touchdowns you'll see, especially for that many yards. I mean, just incredible. He's having an amazing offensive season. Over 200 yards on the ground last night. Amazing stuff.
Amazing play right there.
Next up, we have Breece Hall throws a touchdown to win the Jets their first game of the season.
Yeah, and Jaden talked a little bit about this. Here's Breece Hall rolling out right, fakes the flip, and now gets it. And I mean, the rookie tight end there, Taylor with the catch, and that was just amazing.
Great grab in the back there. Moss, the defender, picked one up.
Finally, for number 1, we have Jonathan Taylor scurries 80 yards for one of his 3 touchdowns in Week 8.
Jonathan Taylor, he's been electric all year, and he splits the defenders, and I don't know how bad of an angle that defender took, but it was just horrendous. The whole Titans defense,
Yep.
I mean, Jonathan Taylor.
He
What a
just
season.
tight-roped that one all the way on the sideline, tiptoed into the end zone. Colts fans rejoice.
That will conclude our plays of the week for Week 8 of Red Zone Recap and our show for the day. Let's go to Jaden and Zach for our final thoughts.
We hope you enjoyed this week's edition of Red Zone Recap, and we thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will be back next week with week 9 of the NFL season.
Have a good week.